Well, today I want to talk about sensibility in musicianship. Sensibility is the ability of the musician to put himself in the place of the listener in a meaningful way. Now, what does this do musically? Well, music is a language, and it has a syntax. It has little rules it goes by when it goes by tradition. It has a way of saying things, either soft or loud. It has figures of speech, like other languages. And it has a way of saying things effectively, so there's no doubt what's being said. And even when music plays a subsidiary role, and someone is singing with a background music in the background, the accompaniment generally follows the same rules. It breathes in and out, just like the lead voice does. Oftentimes, the backup aspect of music is ignored. People take it for granted that the musicians just know what they're doing, but they don't just know what they're doing musically, they know what they're doing emotionally as well, if they're any good. The sensibility is the ability to gauge where your audience is at, or where your imaginary audience is at, and everybody has an imaginary audience. So today we want to take a look at some things at sensibility, things that measure sensibility. One of the chief obstacles to sensibility is a mechanical sense of time and a stilted version of piano playing, which actually mirrors when someone speaks in a stilted way. They're having to think about every little thing, and as a result, sometimes mistakes are made in expressing themselves. Sometimes the musician gets so caught up in the rhythm that he can't keep up with the tempo. And so, where improvisation is concerned, it's important to find a sense of time that's not limited to a strict sense of time. That doesn't mean that everything is rubato or stretched out, but it does mean there has to be a certain looseness, especially where popular music is concerned. Here's an idea. Here's an idea of what I'm talking about. You see, the notes are not only stretched, but each chord that moves is meant to project feeling. And when the chords work together, the overall effect is genuine feeling. Now here's a different one. Whether you go fast or slow isn't the point. Of course, the ensemble or the soloist will decide what the tempo will be. But the idea is to convey meaning. The great French writer once said, men destroy their greatest possession, the meaning of things. So when we improvise, we work to include meaning so that the listener can understand what we're trying to say. Where sensibility is concerned, oftentimes less is more. The musician who improvises is less interested in playing every single note than they are playing every single note with feeling, with genuine feeling, with genuine care for the listener. That's what's missing in a lot of music today. Very mechanical, makes good money. Young people don't know any better, they buy it like crazy. But their hearts are empty, and then they don't understand why. So maybe that music is good to dance to, but what they got then? So music should help you reflect, and when you hear the music again, you're brought back to the same place you were at one time. Music should always convey a memory. In fact, the best music is always based on memory. Not remembering the music, but remembering where you were when you heard the music. That's true of every generation. All right, now here's an example of sensibility in more of a classical type style, but watch how the music breathes in and out. Not every rhythm is precise, but the general flow continues. If I play fivelets or I play sevenlets, that's of no consequence, just as long as the sentence is not broken. We can use whatever words we want. The trick to understanding a strict chord progression like this one now, let's play that sensibly in a way that affects the audience. And see, an audience can relate to something that says, hey, I care that your mind is transported for a moment. That's the whole object of great music, is to take the listener from where he's at and bring him someplace besides the normal vagaries of life. It's as if the listener is in the midst of a dream and he's considering life from a different viewpoint from that particular moment. And then when the music is over, he can return back to regular reality. But what music should first and foremost do in any event, in its most ideal sense, is to transport the listener. That's always important. Now we'll take a look at sensibility where profundo is concerned. De profundo is an approach to the bass line where we take the bottom and use it to express the lower part, the stomach part of our feelings. Watch. When we motivate ourselves to play from the bottom up, the listener feels those things in his stomach too. That's one way to transport. To deal with the listener's solar plexus in such a way that he feels the music rather than hears it. Here's another example of de profundo. Now, if we take the tack that that's just loud, then we're thinking in mechanical terms. But now here's de profundo in a contrasting manner. If you take a calculating approach to improvisation, we will always wind up with a stilted approach. We'll always wind up, what more could we do? it'll be empty because it'll feel empty because it'll be empty. So here's the sense of sensibility in a simple progression where we seek to reach the audience by playing less rather than more.